Welcome back to Shoulder Challenge Month. We're on week 2 now, day 8. Today we're going to be going over stretch contractions above the shoulder and also below the shoulders. So I'm going to show you a few things on how we can stretch the neck and how we can stretch some of the tissues of the lats, the serratus anterior, and a little bit of the rib cage as well. So let's dive our attention over to the side. So as you can see, a lot of the muscles go from the neck all the way to the shoulder. And this is the back view. And as I rotate the diagram, human model, you can also see the muscles go from the front part of the neck all the way down. The pecs go from inward, medial to lateral. And not even mentioning, if we look from the bottom up view, a lot of the muscles even go from like the oblique system, the serratus anterior, go from bottom up as well, especially the lats. So in order for us to heal the shoulder properly, and let's take a whole layer off here, we want to make sure the tissues surrounding the shoulder girdle and the whole shoulder complex, we're addressing those. So what we want to first off with is the neck. Now, the principle with stretch contractions are in order to reduce fascial plasticity and lengthening of tissues to a certain degree. But we also want to be able to utilize that lengthen stretch process, which is why we're attaching a muscle contraction at the end of the stretch. Now, in order to induce fascial plasticity or lengthening of tissues, we want to be able to hold stretches 2 minutes total a day. You can break that up into 30-second holds, 15-second holds. But every time you hold a stretch afterwards, we want to put a low-level muscle contraction into the direction in which you are stretching. So what that means is if we hold our head, for example, we want to stretch the muscles on the side. We want to put a muscle contraction energy into the direction in which we stretch. So these muscles are being stretched. The contraction needs to go in that direction, okay? So it's low-level contraction, but the same side. So for example, the head, whatever way your head tilts, that's the arm we want to use to hold the head, okay? And that's just one way. We can also do a contraction in the opposite direction, but we have to change the hand placement so we're not extensively putting more pressure on the joints of the neck. So stretch contractions is going to include tilting the head, 5 to 10 seconds of low level intensity of the muscle contraction, and then in the opposite direction, 5 to 10 seconds as well. So we're controlling tissues that are being lengthened and on the other side of not only the body or joints, but also the whole complex itself. So let's go into this. So the head, neck, we can stretch in a couple different ways. There's many different ranges of motion. You can move your neck in a circular formation, but I'm going to target a few different structures a little bit more in depth. So we want to look to the armpit first. So we're going to be targeting this structure, the shoulder. By lengthening and looking down at the armpit, we're getting all the muscles. Let's look at this diagram here of the deeper structures going to the front side of the neck, the back side, and then I'll add the whole upper trap layer. We're getting all these tissues, okay? So again, holding 2 minutes total a day, holding the neck from there, and then from there, we want to try to bring the head in the opposite direction. So we're moving the head backwards, okay? But we're holding and restricting the head. Again, 5 to 10 seconds, low level muscle contraction energy, okay? And I'll speed that up. We can also tilt to the side. By tilting to the side, we're going to be getting a lot of these other muscles, especially the scalene. So let me take a couple layers off here. There are these smaller muscles that go from the spine down to the ribs, rib cage, first ribs. Okay, let's back out there. And again, holding the stretch. Say it's 2 minutes total, or it's been 30 seconds. Again, we want to put a muscle contraction energy in the direction in which the tissues are being stretched, 5 to 10 seconds, and then holding the head the other way, and then putting pressure 5 to 10 seconds in the other direction. Okay? And then the other last direction we want to target is looking up and off to the side. So then we're getting the muscles on the front. And let's look at the diagram. That is definitely going to be a large portion of the sternocleidomastoid muscle on the front, which if you're on the desk computer, these tissues are going to be lengthened, and that could throw off the clavicle and compress all the tissue, thus why everyone keeps their stress in the upper back. So again, we're going to look off to the side, and for here you can hold it underneath the jaw, you can hold the top of the forehead, either or. Okay, so in order to stretch forward and off to the side, we want to hold here and try to bring our head back to other shoulder. Okay, 5 to 10 seconds. Hold the opposite side and then try to push the head backwards. Okay, both sides. Again, looking to the armpit, tilting, looking up and back. Now, if you notice sharp pain when looking back, diminish the angle and then hold it as the barrier or hold it on the front. Okay, again, we want to stretch. If you don't feel the stretch, we want more muscle contraction, not the intensity, but more time. So instead of 5 to 10 seconds, let's add 10 to 30 seconds or so. Okay, in both directions. So pinching pain, diminish the angle, hold the head there, and then try to bring the head coming back to the other shoulder, 10 to 30 seconds, hold the back side, and try to put pressure backwards. Again, not moving to sharp pain. Tightness is okay, you're going to feel stretch, but that is one way that we can address a lot of the muscles on the neck, especially that attach out to the shoulder and also the upper part of the rib cage. Okay, now let's look at the tissues below. So that's going to involve, let's look at the diagram here, or the model, excuse me. Some of the serratus anterior muscles, some even like the pecs, the oblique complex, but a huge focus on the lats. Okay. Even if I add another layer, we're going to even get the middle traps as well, middle and lower. Now for this, there's a couple really good ones to address the serratus anterior and a little bit of the lats. What you can do is either come up to, let's say there's a wall right here, putting pressure and stretching the muscles underneath, or even bending down onto a desk or table with your head going down between either your arms or just one at a time. And again, these tissues all on the outside, they should feel a good stretch and lengthened, okay? Again, 2 minutes total a day holds. And then from there, we want to put a contraction down into the table, 5 to 10 seconds. And then the act of trying to lift the elbow up off the table during this or after the stretch. So trying to lift up, if you can't lift up, just trying to go the opposite direction. So to and from, okay? Now that's one. Now one unique one is having the arm in front of you, whatever side we want to stretch. So for example, I want to stretch this side, bringing your arm down, and then we're going to come across the body from the arm to the opposite hip, okay? From there, you're going to notice lengthening of the tissues, the lats, mid-back rib cage, and that's their stretch from there. So here's the side view, here's front view. So I'm trying to put pressure of my arm as this is lengthening. We want to put pressure into the direction of the stretch. So I'm trying to raise my arm up like on God. 5 to 10 seconds. Hold the bottom part of the arm and then try to come down downwards like we're almost trying to reach for a sword to come up on God. Okay? Again, 5 to 10 seconds, 5 to 10 seconds. Then we can go to the other side. Arm in front of us, reach down to the other hip, feeling the stretch on the side, putting a muscle contraction energy upwards, and then down. Okay? 5 to 10 seconds, hold underneath, and trying to put pressure downwards, 5 to 10 seconds. Okay? So that is stretching and putting a muscle contraction for the tissues below and above, just so we can supply the shoulder girdle with a proper healing and less compensations throughout, especially if you've had this pain, discomfort in the shoulders for longer periods of time. We have to address the whole body, especially areas around there. So that is the game plan for today. Give those a go. Again, reach 2 minutes total of stretching for each angle, and this may take more than 10 to 15 minutes. So break this up throughout the day, especially if you're at work. Again, this is incredibly important. So that is the game plan for the day. Look to see you guys on the next one. Go kill it. Woo!